What is up, everybody? It is the Game Fanatic Cook, and yes, it's a Warframe video, baby. It's been years since I talked about Warframe, but we're back, and it's back with something that seemingly seems negative, but by the end of this video, I think you're going to be like, well, actually, it wasn't that negative. Is Warframe pay to win? This is a question I feel has been talked about in the Warframe community for a while, but not really ever talked about like out loud in a video or anything. I've never really seen too many people talk about it. Maybe they have and I just haven't seen it, but I personally have not seen people talk about is Warframe pay to win. And as most free MMO games, there is a lot of things you can pay for in Warframe. There is no doubt that having deep wallets significantly helps you in Warframe. At least it helps you make progress, it helps you have better weapons, it helps you have better mods, warframes, but it ruins the game, okay? Warframe is technically pay to win, because the more money you give, the more return you'll get on your character with how good it is, how useful it is. So under technicalities, it is pay to win. It is. I'm sorry if you don't think so. I'm sorry if you're seething. Warframe is pay to win. The more money you have, the more successful you are in Warframe. No matter how hard you work for something, someone else can spend $100 on the game, buy 10,000 platinum, trade for any of the frames they want, any of the mods they want, and all of that good stuff. However, Warframe is not a bad pay to win game. Warframe is free, and they need a way to make money, and how they do it, I don't have any complaints, okay? Because first off, it doesn't matter how good you are. It's not really a competition-like game, okay? Like, there's the PvP, but the PvP is so bad, no one cares about it. As a Warframe community, we can all agree, fuck the PvP, right? Fuck the PvP. Fuck it. And when you take away PvP, when you take away player versus player, right? Pay to win suddenly doesn't really matter when you really think about it. Because now you're just paying to win better, maybe, against CPUs. It's not like you're facing actual competition. It's not like there's limited resources of a certain reward or something, right? That doesn't exist anymore. So paying to win doesn't really matter. Yes, you pay to have better things. You pay to be maybe the flex in game chat, but you're flexing on your own allies, right? It's not you're destroying people with all the things you've bought. It's you're destroying the common enemies with all the things you've bought. So yes, Warframe is technically pay to win because the more money you pay, the better your character is, or the quicker your character is better. But the fact you can grind out pretty much every item in the game is true. You can become peak in Warframe without spending a single dollar. That is 100% true. That might take 1,000 hours, in which a lot of us have spent on Warframe. Between my Xbox play hours, my Nintendo Switch play hours, yes, I played on Switch, I don't know how I did it, and between my computer play hours, I probably have over 1,000 hours in Warframe. And someone can come in, spend $1,000, and have everything I had and more, but they're just out $1,000. They didn't enjoy the game, they didn't grind through the game, they don't have the honor of earning these materials. I think paying for the game is a detriment to your enjoyment of the game. I don't get mad when people pay to win in Warframe because I enjoy the grind. I enjoy the terrible drop chances. I enjoy playing the game with my friends or, by myself because I don't have friends. Just trying to get what I want and the excitement I feel when I do finally get what I want. I love the game. And the fact it's pay to win because some dummy might pay $2,000 to get good items. They just wasted $2,000 and they supported one of my favorite games as well. Right? That doesn't negatively affect me if they get those items. If anything, it benefits me when I play with them. It makes the mission easier. I don't care if they're OP, right? It only helps me. And it helps the game I love that has tons of work put into it. The thing about the Warframe team here is they're a dedicated team. Visual Extremes, they work their ass off for Warframe. Still updating it, the updates aren't always great, the new additions aren't always great, but you can tell they're passionate about it and they're trying their best to put the best things in the game. Sometimes it doesn't turn out that way, and sometimes it does. Warframe's a great game, and it's been lasting a very long time because of these whales who spend $2,000 at a time on the game. And that might seem like cheap, you gotta get salty about like, wow, I worked for this item for 1,000 hours, and if you worked for any item for 1,000 hours, stop working for it. But I worked for this item for 1,000 hours, and they came in 3 days in, and they already had that same exact item because they paid for it. I see why you would get salty, but then you have to think, they just wasted a bunch of money. They didn't enjoy the game experience of getting that item, and then they're also helping make the game more profitable for Digital Extremes, and by doing that, they make more Digital Extremes more incentivized to work on it and create a better game experience. So overall, it's a good thing the more people that are spending money on Warframe to buy these better things. And I mean, how else is Warframe supposed to make money, guys? They would not make enough money to keep up this output of work if they were just selling cosmetics. I also think this goes to show how evil mobile games are, that are pay to win, that are PvP, and charge just as much as Warframe does, except, you know, that mobile game is cheaper to maintain, easier to maintain, and all that good stuff. And they have unlockables you can't even get in most pay-to-win games. You have to pay to get certain things. While in Warframe, unless it's a cosmetic, you can eventually work and get everything in the game. Right? I'm going on a rant now. But all I'm saying is yes, Warframe is pay-to-win technically, but if you have to, like, give me a list of the worst to best pay-to-win games, Warframe would be number one on least egregious pay-to-win games, because you can get all items in the game. It doesn't negatively affect you if someone else pays to win. And they need to make money somehow. Why, you know, games like Candy Crush, you know, that's more egregious. Or like Clash of Clans are more egregious. So, that's my thoughts on Warframe's pay to win, the sentiment around it. But it's not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing. I think it's even a good thing how they do it. I think Warframe is a great game. I think they do a good job of what they do. And yes, of course, I would rather not to have pay to win. Of course, I'd rather them make everybody grind for everything. Of course I would, okay? I'm not saying that I wouldn't want that, because I do feel like the accomplishment of grinding and achieving things is so special. And it takes away from other players. But how would the game keep going without this pay to win? The game either wouldn't be free, they'd have to release constant, and then these updates wouldn't be free either. It'd be constant DLC updates and all this crap where you pay more and more money for the average player. So if a few whales want to spend $10,000 on the game, I encourage them to do that, because it makes the experience better for us in the long run and cheaper for us in the long run. So in the end, Warframe is pay to win. It's overall a good thing. I want to say thank you to all the Warframe whales that keep one of my favorite games going. I appreciate you.